Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Evacuations are now underway in Manitoba's largest First Nation. The situation in Peguis First Nation is fluid and changing quickly for many in the area. A state of emergency was already in place as Peguis is facing a potentially devastating flood. And now we know the community's most vulnerable residents will soon be on the move. CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco is in the community where he's been speaking with people preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. So, Santiago, what's the latest?
Brittany, the evacuation of people here in Peguis First Nation is starting right now. We've been told the health center is calling those who are pregnant, those with medical disabilities, diabetes, or anyone who might still need additional time to leave. Leadership couldn't say how many people are leaving or where exactly they're going, but the Canadian Red Cross has been working with the First Nation to make sure enough beds are available. Flooding this year is expected to be similar to that one in 2022. That's when about 2,000 residents were forced out of their homes. Stuart Stevenson is one of them. This year, he is worried the sump pump in his basement won't keep up with the amount of water coming in and stop working. But he will leave his home if he's told he has to.
They're predicting when that water comes from up south, that's going to be something else.
How worried are you?
Quite worried, yeah, because we were evacuated last time. We're hoteled. It wasn't easy living in hotels, you know, from one hotel to another. It wasn't easy. When we came home with the damage.
So, Santiago, we know officials are keeping a close eye on the Fisher River. Do we have a sense yet of what they're expecting in the coming days?
Well, it really depends on the weather. The Fisher River is expected to spill its banks within days, but the warmer the weather, the faster the melt. Meanwhile, sandbagging in homes here in Peguis continues. Some people have been working nonstop for nearly 2 weeks, including Angela Fled. She says this year she feels better protected, but it still might not be enough.
We got to watch our sump pumps. We went through I don't know how many sump pumps in the last flood because they're steady running. So I'm not being evacuated, I'm staying.
Even if the water...
Even if the water comes. I said my mother never left her home in 2022 and I'm going to watch our homes.
Santiago, what advice is being given to residents who right now are just standing by?
Well, the First Nation is asking them to keep their cars full of fuel. They're also asking them to keep belongings packed upstairs, away from basements, to have medication, IDs, and clothes ready to go in case of an evacuation. Chief Stan Burr says that once flooding starts, it will be extensive. Brittany?
All right, thank you. That's CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco in Peguis First Nation. Now, none of this is new to the people of Peguis. For decades, spring in that First Nation has meant flooding and at times evacuations. After the 2022 flood, the federal Liberals vowed permanent flood protection was coming. But nothing has materialized. And once again, people are being chased from their homes. Ian Frey's now on the years of promises and the optimism something will finally change.
Yet again, they're carrying sandbags in Peguis First Nation. For the people living here, it's a sight all too familiar. Over 100 people fled their homes due to flooding in 2011 and again in 2014. Then in 2022, around 2,000 people were chased from their homes. After that flood, the federal Liberals promised changes.
Is permanent flood protection in the conversation at this stage, yes or no?
Yes, it is. And in fact, I've been very clear with the previous chief and certainly with the community that we need to sit down together with the province to talk about permanent flood protection.
Over the span of a year, former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and cabinet ministers Chrystia Freeland and Harjit Sajin all promised a plan, and yet construction still hasn't started. Premier Wab Kinew helped with sandbagging last week.
What's been the holdup? I don't know, bureaucracy, government, whatever.
Peguis First Nation is prone to flooding because of its location. More than a century ago, the community was forced from its traditional land and into a flood zone. A ring dike isn't practical because a river runs through the community and homes are on either side. But there's new hope some form of flood protection is finally on the way.
Shovels could hit the ground as early as this summer.
I can say that there are conversations and we are looking for solutions.
Until then, Peguis will keep scrambling whenever the waters rise. Ian Fraze, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Concerns about Manitoba's new detox centre are now being raised by the province's former chief psychiatrist. He's challenging the constitutionality of a new and controversial law that allows the centre to involuntarily hold highly intoxicated people for up to 72 hours. He claims it will do more harm for people suffering from mental illness, and he's taking his concerns to court. CBC's Mike Arsenault has that story.
The Protective Care Center in Winnipeg can detain highly intoxicated people for up to 3 days. It's because of the recently passed Bill 48. It allows people to be detained for 72 hours, up from the previous maximum of 24. But the province's former chief psychiatrist, Dr. Jim Sim, says the site and the bill are lacking.
There does not need to be any medical intervention beforehand, although there have been interviews with doctors that state there is going to be. That's not written anywhere in the Act.
Sim filed a constitutional challenge in Manitoba's Court of King's Bench regarding the Act. He has more than 20 years of clinical experience and worries the wrong people could be held.
Intoxication with methamphetamine can look identical to a severe mental illness, such as untreated schizophrenia, manic episodes.
Sim says seclusion can make symptoms worse for people, and he wants the center to be more like a psychiatric ward with a full spectrum of services. The first court hearing is scheduled for June 10th. Premier Wab Kinew says the center considers the well-being of everyone.
Everyone who sees what's going on with meth in our streets these days recognizes that the balance is out of whack, and we have to get back to reasonable limits and keeping the community safe.
He says part of the work that went into crafting Bill 48 was concern about people's charter rights.
So I respect this physician's expertise, and I think they're coming from the right place. But I'm very, very confident that when Manitobans and when a court looks at what we've gone through, it's been a very rigorous process that will stand scrutiny.
The province says since December, the Protective Care Center's seen roughly 2,800 people for alcohol use. The center's had 11 non-alcohol intakes since early March. The province says the average length of stay is about 5 hours, and so far no one's had to stay longer than a day. Mike Arsenault, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A Ukrainian man who went missing this winter has been found dead. Anatoly Ishenko's remains were recovered from the Red River near Lyndale Drive over the weekend. That's according to those who helped organize search parties for the 30-year-old. Ishenko was last seen on Pembina Highway in January. A family spokesperson says he left Victoria Hospital without being seen for panic attacks. More than 100 searchers had scoured St. Vital and Crescent Drive Park for him earlier this month. His cousin says he wants him to be remembered as a hardworking and sensible man, and the family says they're grateful for everyone's search efforts.
The Ukrainian community came together with impressive strength. And I hope that other communities can come together and support each other, because I know there are many missing people in Winnipeg and there are only so many resources. We're lucky we got closure, and we wish the same for other missing people. It does take a community.
Meanwhile, the search for another missing man continued over the weekend. Michael Masukume was last seen in the area of Kings Park in early February. His father came from Zimbabwe in March to look for his son.
It's been hard for me since I came here. I was thinking maybe I was going to find him, but up to today I haven't heard anything about him.
Winnipeg police are asking anyone with information to contact the Missing Person Unit. All right, Riley, and now, Riley, there's a lot of people wanting those warmer temperatures, but we do need to be aware of the flooding risk that does bring.
Yeah, you're right, Brittany. I mean, as much as it is nice to see temperatures like these going into the middle of April, 15 in Brandon, 18 in Melita, 13 in Gimli, Ideally, another few days of some of those cooler temperatures is what we probably needed most for those places in the province through the Interlake and parts of the Parkland who are dealing with some of the flooding, the overland flooding from the melt that still has to happen because there is still a snowpack out there, right? So temperatures in the Parkland around 9 degrees through Swan River Dauphin, 3 degrees in Thompson. We've got into some southerly air, and that's what's helped to push that temperature up through the afternoon and what is going to help bring in some even warmer air in some cases, in particular southwestern Manitoba, as we get through the next 24 hours or so. So looking at sort of broad strokes the next 5 days, looking at things remaining warm across southern Manitoba. There is the risk that we do get into some showers around the Thursday time frame with the potential for some thunderstorms in the southeastern part of the province into northwestern Ontario and northern Manitoba. Cool, below seasonal, and looking at some snow, Brittany, as we get through the middle part of the week. I'll have all the details on that when I come back.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Well, the saunas and hot tubs might raise people's temperatures. This spa has some people's blood boiling for a different reason. We'll explain straight ahead. Stay with us. A Winnipeg doctor is relieved some specialized menopause services are about to be restored. It comes after she claims she warned the former PC government about its decision to close the centre, saying it would send her patients into the abyss. CBC's Ian Fraze joins us from the newsroom. And Ian, how's the province planning to address this?
By building a new menopause clinic in South Winnipeg. Now, this was already announced in the budget, but we found out on Monday it will open by the fall of 2027. Dr. Rebecca Renkis says that the closure of the Mature Women's Center nearly a decade ago was because of a belief that the existing gynecology and primary care providers could handle these patients needing specialized care.
The promise was that the need could be met elsewhere. The reality is that it could not. It was not, and the gap in care has only widened. Awareness of menopause and perimenopause has grown dramatically in recent years, and the demand for informed, multidisciplinary care is going to keep growing. This province needs to be ready for that.
The province is going to put up $5 million for this clinic. The clinic will open on Kenaston, and it will also provide mental health care and some minimally invasive procedures.
So, Ian, we heard from Manitoba's Premier last week that the Prime Minister wants the Port of Churchill shipping liquefied natural gas by 2030. Wob called that timeline aggressive, but says he is up for the challenge. What are the opposition Progressive Conservatives saying, though?
Leader Abi Khan certainly not as optimistic as the Premier.
Him to make an announcement in 3.5 years, Port of Churchill is going to be operating and the pipeline is going to be there, when he's been in there for 2.5 years and he can't even get Churchill on the major projects list is a concern.
Khan was referring there to the major projects list by the federal government. The Port of Churchill expansion isn't included on that list yet.
So, Ian, what is needed to get this project finished in 4 years?
A whole lot, Brittany. You've got feasibility studies that are needed, an environmental assessment, consultations with community and Indigenous partners. Then there's the design of the port, the engineering, and finally the construction. All of that in 4 years is the plan. Keep in mind, it took 13 years to approve and build an LNG pipeline to Kitimat, BC. Brittany.
All right, thank you. That's CBC's Ian Fraze. Well, it's supposed to help you relax and maybe wash away your worries. But future ideas for one local spa is having the opposite effect and causing concerns. Thermea Spa Village in Fort Garry is looking at potentially expanding, but its plans are raising residents' temperatures instead. CBC's Gavin Axelrod reports.
2.0. People packed the Fort Garry Community Centre Sunday afternoon, sharing displeasure over a possible expansion of Thermea Nordic Spa and how it could impact the area.
From Thermea about their intentions.
Deborah Whitkey is with Friends of Crescent Drive Park, who organized the meeting.
I'm one of many people who have used those green spaces and do not want us to lose the beauty, the accessibility.
In the fall, Thermea invited people living on Dove Bay and a section of Crescent Drive to consultations held in late January. They included discussions of changes being considered at the site, including a boutique lodge, sidewalks, expanded parking, and upgrades to facilities. Residents also say the changes could make traffic and parking concerns worse.
The vehicles that are parked then obscure what's coming and going. So trying to walk along there without a sidewalk, which will be addressed this year finally, but it creates serious safety issues.
I think put it on hold and make sure that they have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed.
My message would be the community likes you, just stay the way you are.
Thermea acknowledged its success has caused challenges like parking and traffic disturbances. They say in a statement they would have designed the space differently if they knew from the beginning it would be so busy. Thermea also says the expansion idea is currently in early stages. They also haven't submitted any plans to City Council yet.
So I'll continue to represent your interests. I'll continue to stand firmly in place and keep you informed as this evolves.
Thermea says once its plans are more clearly defined, they'll share more details with the community. They also say they want to resolve some of the issues that are currently frustrating residents. The Friends of Crescent Drive Park are holding another meeting at the Fort Garry Community Centre on Monday night. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
After more than a decade of using puppets in the role of pets, Rainbow Stage is bringing real dogs back to the stage. Auditions were held over the weekend to pick 2 puppies for the musical adaptation of the movie Legally Blonde. At least 20 dogs showed twirls, jumps, and other tricks, putting their talent on display. Chihuahua Pomeranian mix Luca, who's about 5 years old, was one of those hoping to wag her way onto the cast list.
This dog has a great personality. It's very people-oriented. It really just wants to be around people and be loved, and has lots of potential for training.
Opening night of Legally Blonde is August 13th. Oh my goodness, even in the purse there. It's like our own little dog walking forecast for Legally Blonde. Maybe we can get one of them on here for like a live dog walking forecast.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Right?
That'd be exciting. I'd go for that.
Not so bad out there if you are going out for a dog walk.
Yeah, I mean, nice return to spring-like weather, Brittany, as we get through the next few days here. Yes. Things change as we get closer to the weekend again. I do want to show you some stats because a lot of people have been remarking, I won't call it complaining per se, more so remarking at how cool it's been. And no, you are not wrong. We have seen temperatures cooler than seasonal for this time of the year through most of the month of April so far. If you're counting how many days we've had above seasonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, including today, a lot of those sitting below seasonal for this time of the year. So our average high so far for the month of April has been 4.6 degrees. If you're looking for an April, we have had cooler. You don't have to go back far to 2022. That's when it was slightly cooler. So yeah, certainly we have seen Aprils that have been cooler than seasonal. That average temperature, though, will be going up as we see temperatures also going up over the next few days. So we've been parked under a fairly sunny sky across much of southern central Manitoba. Bit of snow did track through the north as we got through the day today. The tail end of that into the southeastern part of the province. That will exit as we get through the overnight hours tonight. High pressure locks into place here. I mean, there is the potential out of some of this cloud cover first thing in the morning of a couple of sprinkles or some mixed precipitation into parts of the Interlake. But by and large, tomorrow across southern and central Manitoba, a mix of sun and clouds and temperatures that pop up well above seasonal for this time of the year. Then as we press into the back half of the week, things change with this developing area of low pressure south of the border. This poised to bring much of southern and central parts of the province a good round of showers as we get through the day on Thursday into southeastern parts of the province. This does bring with it the risk of thunderstorms. I think at least at this point, this is still a couple of days out, so we'll get a little bit of refining with the forecast modeling as we get through the next couple of days here, and another round of snow coming into parts of northern Manitoba with this as we get toward the end of the week. So a bit of weather coming. In behind that, we do get into some cooler air. So by Wednesday, you'll notice Manitoba under this nice little ridge in the jet stream here. That will push in some of those warmer temperatures. But by the weekend, we're back into this trough once again. And this brings it with it some cooler than seasonal air once again as we get into next week. So have a look at some of the numbers for Tuesday here. Looking at 22 degrees in Brandon. The potential there for 25 through the afternoon tomorrow in Melita. I've got Winnipeg at around 16 degrees, Brittany, and temperatures in northern Manitoba close to the freezing mark.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
It was a big birthday celebration for one Winnipeg woman. So what's the secret to her century-long life? We'll share that after the break. Stay with us. Longtime linebacker Adam Bighill will retire as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber. The Blue and Gold signed the six-time Canadian Football League All-Star to a one-day contract so he could retire as a member of the team where he spent 6 of his 13 seasons. Bighill played his final season with the Calgary Stampeders. He's a 3-time Grey Cup champion and a 3-time Outstanding Defensive Player of the Year.
All right, time for your dog walking forecast as we head into your Tuesday, and we have Took for you tonight. Thank you, Angela, for sending this picture in. Took, by the way, adopted from the Winnipeg Humane Society, both he and his brother. I'm not sure what the brother's name is, but both have been named after Festival de Voyageurs. So you can send your pictures, as always, to talkback@cbc.ca. We'll need some more as we get through the coming days here. So looking at 16, that's our afternoon temperature tomorrow. We might be able to squeak a 17 or an 18 out of that as we get into the early evening hours. And then how about 20 degrees for Wednesday? And then there's that next system I've been watching that could bring us some showers or some thunderstorms as we get through the back half of the day into Thursday. And then another cool down. No, I'm not missing zeros on the ends of some of those numbers or ones. That's single digits by the time we get to the end of the week here. Well, Winnipegger Vina Vessinger celebrated her 100th birthday this weekend.
Surrounded by a crowd of family and friends, the Métis woman had some simple advice for living a long life. The key, she says, garlic.
Oh, God, I eat every day. Oh, I love it. I think that's what kept me staying kind of young yet, you know. But that's my belief, that I ate a lot of garlic. And I had a good life. That's the most important thing.
I love it. She maintains the secret to her long life is eating a lot of raw garlic. More than 100 people came to her birthday. Vessinger's daughter says she was very blessed to be celebrating this milestone with her mom.
She's very loving, very forgiving, and she believes in God. She prays day and night. She's a true believer of God, and she says that God has kept her here for a reason. We're just not sure what it is. But she said her job is not done yet, so.
By the way, Vina has 9 children, 30 grandchildren, 59 great-grandchildren, and 15 great-great-grandchildren.
Oh my
goodness,
what
a milestone.
And a fashion icon.
No kidding.
Look at those pictures with the fur, fabulous.
Yeah.
A big, happy 100th birthday to
sure.
you. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.
On our
Great
streaming
night.
channel tomorrow.